Assalamualaikum. Hi y'all, welcome back. So this is eTuisyen online and thank you so much kerana menggunakan ataupun masih bersama dengan eTuisyen online to learn. And for this class is for English Form 3 and with me Miss Anis. Okay, usually I would take the class from tuition center tapi hari ni macam ada sangkut sikit, so that's why I'm live from my home. So usually kalau korang pernah dengar work from home or WFH ataupun kerja dari rumah, so this is how it looks like. And then so for today kita punya format lain sikit, kita akan pakai slide and hopefully apa yang Miss letak dekat dalam slide korang boleh nampak, and then kalau ada kekurangan macam korang tak nampak sangat ke apa, so that is where you need to increase your resolution. Macam biasa kita akan buat checklist, go through the checklist atau housekeeping to ensure korang punya session is smoother, flow better kan. And then so other than that, patutnya macam biasa Miss akan start sebelum kita masuk content with sharing with word of the week. Okay, so Miss tak dapat jumpa mana kamus Miss, terlupa tang mana Miss letak, because I really memang pegang kalau nak share word of the week ni, memang Miss akan ajar macam mana korang nak pakai kamus, because usually people think kamus ni or dictionary it's not macam alah tak payahlah nak belajar semua benda tu kan, tapi actually if you do, you put the effort, you will learn something from it. Okay, so later mungkin Miss share sikit lah kenapa, macam mana nak pakai kamus tu, walaupun Miss tak jumpa kamus Miss, tapi apa yang korang boleh dapat, macam mana nak baca kamus tu actually. Okay, so before that let's go through the checklist ataupun housekeeping. Alright, first thing first is make sure korang punya devices, which is the phone, tablet or laptop, whatever that you're using to watch this video or to watch me live right now, fully charged. Tolong tengok bateri tu, kalau tinggal 5%, better pergi ambil charger ataupun what do you call those things? Yikes, I forgot what do you call those things untuk macam battery untuk charge phone korang, because I don't use it. I make sure my phone is charged every single time I need to use it, so that's why I never had to have one of those, and I forgot, wow, what is the name of that? You know, the thing that you use, the bukan battery, dia macam untuk charge kau punya phone dan dia portable battery tu. I forgot what's it called. Okay, once I know, I'll let you know what am I talking about. Okay, so that's one thing. And then another thing is housekeeping is, kalau korang tak berapa jelas whatever that you seeing on the screen of your tablet and everything, you might need to increase it, the resolution. Resolution ni apa? Dekat dalam YouTube ni dia macam ada bentuk cog, C-O-G, ataupun macam gear, bentuk icon tu. Click on that and then you can increase your resolution to 1080 ataupun 720. Or probably lah 480 pun okay kadang-kadang, but depends juga. So depending on your internet quality, because I do understand sometimes internet ni rasa macam nak pukul je, because it doesn't really, when the time we need it, time tu lah dia nak macam alamak ni macam nak makan ubat demam lah pula, tapi ada masa kita tak perlukan, time tu lah dia laju, malah sebab kita tak perlukan. Okay, so I do understand sometimes the internet is not on your side, so you might need to use the lower resolution. It's fine, use it first and then listen to me, dengar. And for today what we're going to learn is on grammar again. So for a few, probably 2 more weeks, alright, we're still going to touch on grammar, and then later kita akan masuk macam mana nak start on writing. So for now, what is transition kita mula-mula kita belajar dulu pasal grammar, ataupun this is what I call actually the basics ataupun untuk reading korang. Okay, to understand the technical skills that you need to know untuk reading. Okay, and then later kita akan belajar macam mana nak tulis pula. Okay, because there's 4 skills untuk PT3, alright, that you need, that you're going to be tested. So the first one is reading skills lah. Second one is for you to write. Third one is for you to speak, and the last one is for you to listen. Okay, so there are tests for each of these skills. So for now, what we're doing is on the reading portion. Then later we're gonna start on the writing. Then afterwards, I will test you guys on, not test lah, I will help you on how to speak better. in English, and also how to listen better in English as well. Okay, English language sebenarnya bukannya skill. The skill, macam usually kalau orang tanya kan, Miss macam mana nak terror English, macam mana nak to get better in English. Actually, it's not in English that you're trying to be better. You're trying to be better in the skill of using English language. And then the skills are either you read better in English, you speak better in English, you write better in English, or you listen better in English. So yang ni kita akan fokus untuk PT3. Alright, so for now, this grammar is for you to read, baca dulu. Apa kalau korang dapat buku, korang dapat articles, korang dapat ayat, right? A letter from someone that sent to you, you understand. You know the technicals, like for you to understand, okay, this is the story that had happened 2 months ago. So that's why you kena belajar the tenses. You need to understand the present, past and future tenses so that you know when is that event had occurred. So that's why you need to know the technical. So these are the reasons lah. Okay, so nampak tu banyak gila cerita lah pula pasal benda tu. Kenapa korang kena baca semua ni. As anything else. Sorry. Sebelum kita masuk juga, try to increase the brightness of your device ni, okay? To ensure macam kalau dia malap sangat, sakit mata korang tu. Anything else? Social media. So, kalau this is your first class ever with eTuisyen online, welcome. Thank you so much kerana bersama dengan eTuisyen. Because other than eTuisyen online, which is the one that you're getting the access to see each of every week's punya video to learn for this one is class in English, right? So there's other platforms ataupun social media untuk korang belajar ataupun dapat info-info from us, okay? Such as like Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and also Instagram. Did I mention Instagram already? Oh no, I mentioned Telegram. Okay, so all those, TikTok, it's another platform as well. Alright, so with all of that, let's get started. Okay. Pasal kamus sebab dah 7 minutes into the session, let's hold that to next week where I will bring my kamus for the physical one, how to read it, and then also gonna teach you how to find these words online because tak semua orang suka physical. Some people prefer easier, anything that can be reached by the tips of your finger. So that's why you wanted to know how to use the online dictionary, and I will help you as well. Let's hold that to next week. Okay, so now for today, apa yang kita akan belajar, apa yang kita akan touch adalah adjectives. Now out of all, I would say grammar lah, I prefer to learn this one. This is one of my favorites. Sebab apa tau? Adjectives are the words that you use to add flavor to your sentences, to your pronouns or your nouns. Sebab adjectives ni yang macam bagi dia menarik. Okay, so ini yang sebab tu lah Miss suka. Kalau sesuatu tu cantik, sesuatu tu sedap, or sesuatu tu, what do you call this? Very fast, like very wide, all that really tall mountain, right? So all these nitty words, like nitty-gritty, like this all tiny words. Without it, the sentences or the story become very bland, very boring, you know. So that's why you need adjectives to make your sentences, to make your story very interesting or very intriguing or very gruesome. Kalau siapa yang tulis cerita horror movie, right, you need all these words to make the story very descriptive. So bila korang nak kena buat essay untuk describe something, adjectives is your, I would say, secret weapon. If you really master on the usage of adjectives, you can really write really good stories. Okay, so apa yang kita akan belajar untuk kali ni? So adjectives ni ada banyak bahagian. Okay, there's so many usage, there's so many, I would say, categories or situations that you would use. So for today, what we're going to focus on, okay, kita tak nak cover semua, kita tak habis kelas pasal adjectives ni. So what we're going to cover today is when you need to use it, when you're trying to compare. Okay, when you're trying to bandingkan. Okay, so untuk apa yang kita akan bandingkan, okay, first, macam apa yang Miss akan share pada hari ni ialah bayangkan you ada 3 barang. Kenapa tak edit ni? Okay, bayangkan ada 3 benda. So for this case, ada 3 bola sepak. Alright, so you can see here from one from one soccer ball, kita tak panggil soccer, kita panggil soccer. Kita panggil football, okay? Sorry, if you go to America, okay, to USA, they don't call it football, you call it soccer. Don't ask me why. It's the way that they're trying to be unique as how they are not using SI unit for their measurement. They use their own metric system. So let's not go there. One day when we have time, let's discuss that. Why in the world there's so much of varietyness in this world, which is good, but sometimes it's very irritating. But yeah, so this I will call it, I will try to remember, we call it football. Okay, so this football ball, okay, alright, so if you notice, there's 3 different sizes. Okay, tengok dekat sini, bola pertama, bola kedua dengan bola ketiga, tiga-tiga ada size yang berbeza. And in this case, apa adjective yang Miss pakai adalah big. Alright, so for the first one here, the first ball here, it's a big ball. Okay, wow, that sounds so weird. Okay, ada bola yang besar. But the second one is bigger than the first one. And the last one is the biggest out of these 3. Okay, so nampak tak dekat sini, kalau bila Miss compare kan bola pertama dengan bola kedua, bila Miss nak cerita dia lagi besar daripada saiz bola sepak ni, Miss guna bigger than. Okay, perkataan dia jadi tambah GER and then ada tambah than, THAN. Bila Miss compare dua bola ni. Now, bila kita compare tiga-tiga ni, untuk the biggest of, nampak tak ada tulisan the dengan ada tulisan EST dengan of. Okay, so this is the comparison of adjectives. If you learn it before, good. If this is the first time you seen it, so pay attention, okay? So this is what we call comparison of adjectives. We're trying to compare the materials, we're trying to compare the nouns or pronouns. Sebab adjectives ni you boleh pakai kepada nouns dengan pronouns. If you put a word and then describing a verb, okay, kalau ada perkataan that you use to describe an action, that's not adjectives. Itu adalah adverbs, okay? And then that's what we have learned last week. Okay, so for this week, kita belajar pasal adjectives where we use the word to describe the nouns and pronouns. Remember, adverb, verb, adjectives, nouns and pronouns. So that's the difference, and try to not confuse them because they are the sets of words that's similar to each other. Sebab ada adverb, tulisan ataupun words dia is actually adjectives, but the way you use it to describe either verb or noun or pronouns, it will separate them. Either it's the adverbs ataupun dia adalah adjectives. Okay, so remember that. Okay, so this is comparison of adjectives. Now, bila dia pembandingan antara dua ni, antara dua bola ni, bola yang big dengan bola bigger than ni, ini kita panggil dia comparative sebab kita compare dua benda. Tapi kalau kita compare tiga-tiga, kita bandingkan tiga-tiga ni, nama dia jadi lain sikit, iaitu superlative. So apa yang Miss cakap ni, sabar, Miss buka satu lagi, okay? So comparison of adjectives, that's what we're focusing for today. Okay, so the first one is positive. Yang ni, bila you compare dua benda tapi sama size. Yang ni Miss tak mention tadi sebab kita ada 3 gambar je kan. So the first one ni positive. Bayangkan ada dua, Miss tak ada barang kat sini. Nak bandingkan yang sama. Tak ada benda. Okay, tak apalah. So bayangkan you ada dua benda yang sama. Contohnya bateri ya kan. Oh, cantik. Cakap pasal bateri dalam ni. Okay, nampak tak dekat dalam remote ni. Okay, dalam remote aircon ni ada dua bateri yang sama color, sama dia punya size, okay. So because dia dua benda yang sama, this when we could try to compare them as well, because it's equal, then you would use this positive. Nampak tak? Use when compared to equal nouns and pronouns. Remember, adjective is for equal, for nouns and pronouns. And then formula dia, okay, macam biasa Miss ajar korang tenses and then what's it called? Even when I try to teach you the adverbs ke semua tu kan, I try to simplify for you guys. There is formula, okay? Bila korang dapat, especially bila part test and then reading, comprehension atau bukan comprehension, dekat bahagian mana error corrections, alright, or when you have nanti ada satu part multiple choice where you need to identify the best choice of words to fill in the blanks ke apa. So when you know the formula, you tahu, you dapat spot perkataan ni, ada macam nanti dalam ayat tu ada perkataan keyword ni, you see these keywords, you know apa, like what will be the suitable words to or the suitable answer to be chosen, betul ke? To be chosen. Ambil kau, aku dah lupa dah punya tense. Okay, so nampak tak? Dekat situ, that's why when you know the formula, macam korang belajar sciences dengan maths kan, tahu formula, tahu konsep dia, then you will know the answer. Similar to English, okay? Dia tak adalah complicated sangat semua sebenarnya. The way you communicate ataupun bila nak kena handle manusia, yang tu complicated sikit. Tapi when you try to handle the language, it's not. It's very straightforward actually. Okay, so untuk positive formula dia bila nampak perkataan as and then ada kat sini tulislah perkataan adjectives tu and then ada as. Ataupun kalau untuk negative statement, you letak not dulu kat depan, as apa, and then letak perkataan adjectives tu and then tutup pun dengan as juga. Alright, so this is where we say something is equal or not. Dia macam nak cakap when something is equal. Okay, but if you know that you're not trying to compare something is not equal, then you use the not one lah. But that's for the negative statement. Okay, alright. So that's for positive. Now when we say something yang Miss cakap tadi kan, bila kita bandingkan bola kecil itu, bola yang saiz pertama dengan bola yang saiz kedua tu kan, bila kita compare two things ataupun two nouns or pronouns that is not equal, alright. So here formula dia ada dua. Okay, so yang ni sebenarnya untuk positif ni satu saja formula lah. Yang as ni, ada juga a word yang you boleh guna juga nak say that it is in the positive ni adalah perkataan similar, okay, ataupun same. Dua perkataan ni. So sama lah dalam maknanya lah. Something yang sama, sesuatu yang same, okay. I just noticed that kalau dalam bahasa Melayu kan, kita nak macam mana sebutan ni kan, SAME is sama kan untuk kita. Okay, untuk dalam bahasa Inggeris is same, SAME sama, okay. We have to be careful with that. Alright. Okay, so for comparative is when the nouns yang you macam tu lah, macam buku ni dengan buku ni, nampak tak? Dua size yang berbeza. Okay, so you trying to compare two nouns that is not the same, unequal. Alright, so formula dia, the first one is, contohlah yang tadi Miss cakap size dia, yang ni lagi besar daripada ni, so besar is big lah, ataupun nak cakap small lah, okay, small, ni lagi small, so smaller than the first one. So nampak tak, smaller, so kat situ perkataan tu the adjective small and then tambah er and then than. Okay, kena ada nampak perkataan than. If you see this than, right, it shows that it's actually comparative lah. Okay, and then usually when it's comparative, the formula is er, ataupun there's some words you would need to use more. Okay, you cannot simply add er dekat belakang perkataan tu. It's not suitable. Nanti kita akan go through one of the exercise for you to identify ataupun bagi sikit lagi vocab untuk korang tahu macam mana yang which words that you can put er at the back kat ending dia, ataupun which words that you need to use more. Okay, so and then tutup dia dengan than. More, contohnya kalau more honest. Contohlah perkataan tu, more honest than. Okay, you tak boleh tulis honester. No, that's wrong. Tak boleh ya. Honest, you have to put more in front of it if you're trying to compare the honesty of a person. Okay, so that's the honesty of a person. Okay, so that's comparative. When you try to compare dua benda yang tak sama. Now, when you ada tiga, bukan dua lah, 3, 4 berlambak, okay, barang ataupun nouns or pronouns, you would use this superlative. So, sorry, lupa nak cakap. Positive, comparative and superlative ni adalah, you would say degree of comparison. Okay, nampak tak? Mula-mula dua, lepas tu dua yang tak compare, yang tak sama, and then 3 atau lebih. So macam ada degree dekat situ. Sama macam adverbs juga. Adverbs pun ada comparison of adverbs which is comparative dengan superlative, but that you will learn when you're in form 3. Okay? Dah belajar ke sebenarnya? Depending. Okay, so untuk superlative ni, when you use to compare three or more nouns, nouns or pronouns. Okay, formula dia macam Miss cakap dekat sini ada formula, dekat superlative pun ada formula. You letak the, and then ada perkataan adjective rule, and then tambah ending dia est. Okay, so contohnya small tadi kan. So sini smaller, sini smallest. Okay, small perkataan adjective tu tambah est dekat belakang. And then kalau dekat sini more honest than, dan kat sini the most honest. Okay, so bila korang dapat soalan, okay, bila dapat soalan dalam peperiksaan ke ataupun bila korang nak identify, nak tulis perkataan kan, korang ada tulis the. So and then you trying to say that this is the I mean like, contohlah event, contohlah korang pergi, okay, contohlah PKPB dah tak ada, contohlah PKP dah tak ada semua, and then tiba-tiba dah habis, COVID is gone finally, okay, and then you are able to travel to, let's say, oh recently Miss ada nampak Desaru punya tempat. Okay, you went to Desaru tempat and it was, memang serious best gila pergi. Alright, so that was the best moment in your life. Okay, nampak tak? Sesuatu yang sangat, you compare to all your trips. Okay, you try to compare to all your trips, your holiday sebelum ni, and the one that you pergi Desaru tu yang paling best, yang tak boleh compare. Dia memang sampai bila-bila you akan bersyukur sebab you dapat pergi Desaru tempat tu. Okay, so that would be, you can say that is the best moment. Okay, perkataan the tu, and then perkataan best. Okay, so best nanti kita akan cover apa comparative dia, apa positif dia, apa comparative dia, dengan apa dia punya superlative. Nanti kita akan cover. Okay, so nampak tak? Itu formula dia. So bila nak apa, kalau korang nak guna, bila korang nak compare a noun or pronoun, and then you tahu ada dua barang, okay, kalau dua and then dia tak sama, guna comparative, and then these are the formula dia. Okay, so dah tahu dia punya formula, jom kita buat contoh sikit macam mana nak macam mana nak buat perkataan ni, macam nak tulis perkataan dia. Okay, Miss akan tulis sikit, Miss akan bagi sikit-sikit tips. Okay, okay, hopefully cukup masa. Kalau tak cukup habis, mungkin Miss akan sambung sikit minggu depan, dan kita akan sambung minggu depan, kita akan belajar pasal model pula. Bukan model untuk tangkap apa gambar, apa tu korang pakai baju cantik. No. Ni modal, okay? Bukan modal untuk duit ke apa. No, this is model that you use in English. Tak tahu apa, we'll cover that next week. Okay? Alright, so macam mana nak form, macam mana nak buat that comparative dengan superlative words tu. Okay? So here, untuk case ni comparison with ending ER ataupun ending EST. ER ni bila dalam comparative, and then EST ni untuk yang superlative. Okay, contoh ni tadi kita pakai small kan. So sekarang ni untuk perkataan clean. Clean adalah bersih. Okay, so clean, dia punya positif dia adalah clean, and then dia punya comparative dia cleaner, and then the superlative dia you pakai cleanest. And then don't forget, when you trying to compare three or more items and you're saying that's the, I guess, highest degree of the comparison, so you need to put the, kena ada the. Tak ada the, then you should just use the second one, which is the comparison. Okay, so we use ER atau EST untuk following adjectives. Ni contoh-contohnya. Okay, so tadi yang kita cover clean, cleaner dengan cleanest. Untuk new, alright, so lupa nak cakap. So this is for adjectives, perkataan-perkataan yang ada satu syllable. Satu syllable maksudnya sebutan dia tu. Okay, ini betul ke dalam bahasa Melayu kita panggil dia imbuhan? Kena tanya Serozi ni. I tak tahu apa panggilan dia dalam bahasa Melayu. Dah lama tak belajar bahasa Melayu betul-betul ni. Pakai bahasa Melayu tapi lemah sikit dalam bab tata bahasa dia ni. Aduh. Okay, so kalau syllable is berapa, I think sebutan kot dalam bahasa Melayu kot. Okay, sebutan dia. Okay, so untuk yang ni clean. And then bila jadi cleaner, nampak tak? Okay, tu dah maksudnya ada dua syllable lah. Okay, so kat sini kalau yang one syllable ni maksudnya root word dia ataupun kata base dia kalau kita tak tukar apa-apa. Remember when we go through tenses, I remember that I share with you the tables for you to form your verbs in root, untuk letak root, cari perkataan-perkataan yang kalau neutral, tak buat apa-apa dekat perkataan tu, it's not being affected by any of the tenses. You call those root words, okay, kata asal dia, kata dasar dia, basic dia. And then depending on the situation, depending on the form, dia akan berubah kan. So sama jugalah dalam case comparative dengan superlative ni. So korang boleh lah, kan ada 5 kan kolom I bagi kat you boleh tambah lagi 1. Kalau comparative macam ni ejaan dia, superlative macam ni ejaan dia. So actually that table you can use it for a lot of, macam nak cakap, it will really help you to really increase more on your vocab and your spelling. Vocab ni not only you tambah perkataan, when you know how to spell, alright, spell a certain words and you know what does it mean, then itu maksudnya you dah tambah vocabulary you bertambah. Okay, so syllable ni, contohnya 1 syllable, okay, untuk root word dia, so ni new. Kalau comparative dia tambah ER jadi newer, and then superlative dia newest. Okay, so yang last one ni adalah cheap. Okay, cheap. Dia punya comparative dia tambah ER dekat belakang, cheaper. And then for superlative is cheapest. Alright, so ini untuk 1 syllable. Now, sebab tak semestinya semua perkataan ada 1 syllable, there's a lot of words that have 2 or more syllables, right? Now, for 2 syllables, kalau ada 2, and then kalau untuk case macam ni pula, dia ada ending dengan Y. Macam mana kita nak spell dia bila dia dalam bentuk comparative. So dekat sini you tukar Y tu, okay, Y tu you tukarkan dia kepada I, lepas tu tambah ER. Okay, so macam untuk case ni kan kita compare dengan ER kan. So kalau dekat sini macam mana kalau dia 2 syllables and then kalau ending dengan Y, you tukar Y ni kepada I and then you tambah ER untuk comparative. So dirty, if you're trying to compare someone or something that is more dirty, okay, tu salah, sepatutnya it's dirtier, alright. So then this is how you spell it. And then if that thing is dirtiest, memang paling kotor lah, sakit mata tengok, banyak lumpur, hitam legam. Okay, so you letak dirtiest. Don't forget, if you put it in a sentence, you have to add the dekat depan. Okay, tu untuk superlative. Now easy, easier, easiest. Happy, happier, happiest. Okay? Alright. So itu kalau untuk 2 syllables ending with Y. Kalau 2 syllables yang ending dengan ER pula, macam mana pula? Okay. So ini adalah the root word iaitu clever. Kalau comparative dia tambah lagi ER dekat belakang dia, cleverer. Alright? And then superlative dia cleverest. Alright? Okay? Alright, don't hesitate lah. Actually nak tambah ER dekat belakang. Tapi not every word will do that. So this is the usual ones, but ada certain perkataan that you cannot do as such. Okay? Alright, so that's where kamus, dictionary is your best friend to identify all of these words. Okay, so this one, adjectives ada 2 syllables and then ending dengan LE. Okay, so yang ni, sorry Amis tak nampak, letak cover. Alright, so kat sini perkataan dia adalah simple. Okay, simple atau so kat sini simple adalah positif dia. Now comparative dia adalah simpler, okay, tambah saja dengan 1 R. Okay, and then superlative dia tukar kepada dan tambah ST. Alright, so itulah antara formula-formula dia. Now I think I got one more untuk how to form this comparative. Then later kita akan go through pula some exercise. Okay, sekarang cover. Okay, insyaAllah tengah cukup masa. Alright, so oh yes, lupa bagian ni. Okay, so kita akan go through more dengan most and then some more comparison and then we do the exercise. Okay, so yang tadi bila kita boleh pakai formula ER ataupun EST, okay. Now here, case ni bila kita tak boleh. Kita tak boleh adjust perkataan tu. Tapi apa yang kita boleh buat is tambah perkataan more ataupun most dekat depan dia. Okay, so untuk positif dia, okay, perkataan dia, contoh-contoh dia adalah yang ni lah, difficult, painful, wonderful. So here kalau comparative, you letak more dekat depan and then dekat belakang. Okay, more difficult than that. Okay, which one? How do I put this in a sentence? My mathematics homework is much more difficult compared to my English homework. Something like that. Okay, so more difficult than. Now, the most difficult, kalau untuk yang paling susah, okay, yang paling complicated, so you would use this lah, the most difficult. Alright, and then the second one here, painful. Okay, macam mana nak letak dia? More painful than, the most painful. The most, kalau painful ni, mine ni more, okay, no. Painful, usually I would say, nak cakap apa lah? When I was having a fever, it was more painful than when I had the cold. Something like that. So you're comparing when the pain when you have a fever and when you have a cold. So you're saying that when you have a fever, it's much more painful compared to when you just had a cold. Cold ni sesama. Okay, so the most painful is when you had that fever lah, something like that. Okay, so wonderful, more wonderful than the most wonderful. Okay, wonderful ni, wonderful moment, wonderful memories. What other things? Wonderful person. Say for example that your best friend that you just met or something like that. Ataupun ada buat kawan dan ada macam tiba-tiba klik gila-gila. So you can say you are more wonderful than the other friends that I had. Or you're the most wonderful person that I've met. That's why you are my best friend. Something like that lah. So you see, nampak tak? Macam boleh buat dalam ayat story kat situ. That's why I said adjectives is really, I would say, if you like to write stories, if you like to write descriptive kind of essay, adjectives can be your weapon. Okay, macam dalam game yang korang main, kalau korang jenis yang main game lah. Okay, ataupun korang jenis yang suka buat video, right? When you try to make something very interesting, nampak tak? Bunda kita dah guna perkataan interesting as well. Interesting is also an adjective when we try to describe a noun or pronoun, right? So, nampak tak dekat situ? If I don't say interesting, then how would you know it is interesting or not? So that's why adjectives is very, very powerful. Okay, so ni macam mana nak guna untuk perkataan more dengan most. This is some of the example of the words. Okay, the last, I think this is the last one for us to know about the comparative, dan later kita akan go through some of the exercise. Okay, so nampak tak dekat sini? Ni dah macam lain dah, Miss. Okay, I'm so sorry to say, but not all the words can follow the formula that I gave you just now, which is yang tambah ER untuk yang comparative ataupun you letak perkataan more. Now, some words you tukar semua dia punya ejaan. Okay, alright, so similar macam bila kita belajar pasal past form of the verbs and also past participle, kena tukar dia punya ejaan dia tu kan. Lebih kurang lah dekat yang ni untuk comparative dengan superlative ni. Alright, tiba-tiba kena tukar terus dia punya ejaan. So this is where we call these words as irregular adjectives. Like how we have irregular verbs yang macam suka hati je dia punya sendiri ejaan dia, actually bukan suka hati lah, ada reason dia kenapa ejaan dia sebegitu, kenapa kena tukar perkataan dia. There's history. Okay, bila kita belajar literature of the language of English, there's always a reason for something. Like there's a reason why the words are being used as such. Okay, alright, so for like I said, there's irregular verbs, there's also irregular adjectives. Okay, so for positive, yang ni pula, okay, kita tengok kat sini, good. Kalau kita nak compare sesuatu yang lagi baik daripada sesuatu benda, contohnya cikgu BM saya lagi baik daripada cikgu BI saya. So you can say my Malay teacher is better than my English teacher. Okay, so nampak tak dekat situ, better. Okay, and then if your BM teacher or your English teacher is the best in the world, then you can say best. Okay, now here bad. Kalau bad, dia punya when you try to compare something is lagi teruk daripada sesuatu, you would use perkataan worse. You bukannya tambah suka hati, ya tambah better. Oh no, that is wrong. Okay, so you guna perkataan worse. This is the comparative version for bad. And then yang paling teruk adalah worse. Okay, then here untuk much. Okay, sebelum Miss alamak, sorry. Ada lag sikit dengan my mouse. Okay, so untuk kat sini, nampak tak much dengan many? So sebelum Miss nak letak kat sini, ingat kalau untuk much, perkataan much ni kan, dia sebenarnya untuk benda-benda ataupun nouns yang kita tak boleh nak kira. And then untuk benda yang kita boleh kira, kita akan guna untuk many. Okay, careful with that. Remember when you trying to learn ke belum lagi cover uncountable dengan countable nouns? Dah lah, kita dah belajar nouns hari tu. Okay, so benda yang kita tak boleh nak kira, kita tahu dia banyak ataupun sikit sahaja, kita akan guna much. Comparative dia adalah more, superlative dia most. Sama juga dengan many, more dengan most juga. Okay, alright. So itu untuk irregular adjective. I believe that, cantik. Okay, so here, okay, Miss akan keluar sekejap. So I'm gonna type it in sebab nak bagi korang buat dengan Miss. Sekarang pukul apa? InsyaAllah. Alamak. Macam tak sempat je kalau nak buat ni. Okay, how about this? I'm gonna give you, I will count to 15 seconds, okay, untuk to give you enough time atau less than that for you to take a photo of this or for you to like create a table in your notebook. Okay, create a notebook in your notebook. Nak buat table ni, cari comparative dengan superlative version of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cari 6. Okay, cari 6 perkataan ni, this root word, dia punya comparative and dia punya superlative. Miss nak buat dengan korang macam tak sempat ni sebab ada satu lagi exercise and I believe that I should go through that with you for today. And then so I'll give you this for you to complete and then I'll give the answer dekat dalam eTuisyen online. Okay, cari under BI nanti Miss akan letakkan hadiah pula. Jawapan, all the answers for all these words. But if I were to go through with this with you, tak sempat nak habis nanti. Okay, alright. So I'm gonna count to 10 for you to salin or probably you can pause kejap ke ataupun if you have any questions, if you macam tak clear sangat, you can ask me also dekat dalam live chat tu ataupun you can try to find me dekat dalam eTuisyen online to clarify. Okay, so here kalau you tak faham any of the words, this is where you need to use your dictionary. Okay, alright, so we have pretty, fast, wet, useful, dangerous and far. Oh, lupa nak cakap. Now, far ni, actually kan dia ada dua makna. So kalau boleh korang cari dua-dua punya comparative dengan superlative dia. Kalau tak jumpa, tak apa. Miss akan bagi jawapan lah, tapi korang akan tunggu seminggu lah. Okay? So kalau tak nak tunggu seminggu, then do your homework. Okay? So, I think that should give enough time. Let's do the other exercise because I don't have much time to finish it. Okay. Alright, so here, exercise. This is the sorry. Oh, cukup masa sebenarnya. Tak apalah, kita akan go through here. Okay, so I have 7 questions here. Okay, so what we need to do is pilih yang mana satu yang sesuai untuk fill in the blanks for all of these sentences. Okay, so kat mana yang satu yang sesuai. Okay, so here yes, you need to use the formula, but another thing is when we talk about grammar, right? When you use grammar, it's not only for you to know the formula ataupun macam mana nak tulis dia dengan betul. Another thing that you need to understand as well, the context of the sentence ataupun cerita apa yang korang nak sampaikan, apa informasi yang korang nak sampaikan. Okay, so korang kena, selain daripada kena faham macam mana nak pakai sentences tu, macam mana nak tulis the words in a proper form and everything, you also need to, another thing that can help you to understand certain sentences, certain stories, certain paragraph, articles, you need to look at the context. Okay, konteks ni apa yang nak disampaikan, apa message yang nak disampaikan. Okay, so let me teach you macam mana nak baca sentence ni and then pick the right word. Okay, so say for example, the first one. Okay, this is the noisiest place in town. So yang ni actually tak perlu sangatlah konteks. Yang ni you boleh tengok daripada dia punya formula. So kat mana yang Miss nampak formula tu? Okay, tengok dekat sini. This is the noisiest place in town. So here sebab ada perkataan the. Remember just now kita ada nampak sama ada perkataan than, THAN ataupun perkataan the. So dekat sini kita nampak the. So maksudnya ni adalah superlatives. Now apa superlatives untuk noise? Noise ni adalah bising. Okay, so here noise ini adalah bising untuk noun. Noisy, sorry. So adjective dia adalah noisy. So kalau noisy ending with y. Kalau ending with y, you kena tukar y tu tukar jadi I. Okay, ejaan. Tadi kau tulis kat sini. Hopefully kau nampak. Noisy. So this y, you tukar jadi I, E-R. So jadilah dia noisier. Okay, so that's why dekat sini sama ada noisier ataupun noisiest. But because of the ni, so the answer would be noisiest lah. Okay, alright. So itu untuk the first one. I think ada letak. Okay, so yes, noisiest. Okay, so second one. My watch is as good or better as yours. Okay, yang ni pun sebenarnya boleh tengok daripada konteks formula juga. Okay, so that's why kadang-kadang, yes, macam Miss cakap earlier that you can just identify by just knowing the formula, but another thing is also you need to look at the story ataupun the context that you. Kat sini, I think most of this is more on the formula. Tapi bila you main dengan, macam kita minggu lepas kan, kita belajar pasal adverbs kan, then you need to understand the context of the sentences lah. Okay, so here, my watch is as good or better as yours. Remember, when we see perkataan as tadi kan, as pula, yang kita awal-awal kita dapat kan, positif kan, as, and then adjective and then as. So dekat situ, Miss pun nak cakap, kalau untuk positif, your adjective, right, you don't need to change anything. Tak payah. Positif, dia ambil root word. So untuk dekat case ini, good atau better, yang mana satu adalah the root word. Ada tadi Miss ada share sekejap. Okay, dekat yang ni adalah contoh-contoh yang irregular adjectives. Okay, alright, so good or better. So untuk positif ataupun yang kita ambil root word, it is good. So for here, number 2, the answer is good. Alright, so the third one, which book is thick or thicker, yours or mine? Okay, untuk case ni which book is thick or thicker? Okay, kalau kita contohlah, yours or mine ni tak ada kan? Which book is thick ataupun thicker? Okay, contohlah kalau jawapan dia thick, which book is thick and then yours and mine ni tak ada So itu pun betul. Cuma dekat case ni nampak tak ada perkataan yours or mine. Okay, yang ni konteks lah sikit. So nampak tak? Dia tengah bandingkan buku awak atau buku saya. So dekat sini ada pembandingan dua benda. Okay, so dekat sini good. Thank you Afrina. Lambat juga sebenarnya. Sorry Afrina, Miss punya nampak komen lambat sikit. Okay, thank you. Yes, good. So which book is thick or thicker, yours or mine? So dekat sini dia tengah compare kan dua benda. But the thing is, kalau kita nak pakai positif, remember just now, kalau untuk perkataan positif, right? Dia kena ada as ataupun same ataupun similar. Remember that I said just now, ada perkataan ni then it's actually using positive. Tapi dekat sini tak ada. Okay, tapi dekat sini pun tak ada perkataan then. Alright, so in question, when you trying to compare something, you tak tahu dia sama ke tidak, you would use the comparative actually. So here jawapan dia adalah thicker. Because you don't know whether is it the same or not. If you confirm it is the same, then you would use positive. Tapi kalau tak confirm, you macam was-was, then you use the comparative for the safe, for safe keeping lah. Okay, alright. So thicker is the jawapan. Okay, number 4. This chair is as comfortable or more comfortable than that one. So kerusi ini selesa, sama selesanya ataupun lebih selesa than that one. Okay, so yang ni formula. So nampak tak perkataan than? So sebab than ni, so maksudnya jawapan dia adalah more comfortable. So it's actually comparing. Dia tengah compare satu kerusi yang dengan lagi satu, tapi sebabkan perkataan than ni, so it's actually more comfortable. Okay, alright, so here more comfortable. Alright, yang nombor 5. Okay, yang nombor sangka apa? Alamak. Okay, sorry, miss cepat sikit. Okay, so my pen is the most expensive of all. So nampak tak dekat sini ada perkataan the. And then another thing is there's also of all. You nampak of all ni kan, okay, nampak je of all ni, confirm it is a superlative. Now, superlative is either you use the EST version tu ataupun the most adjective of that adjective just now. Okay, alright. So ini jawapan dia most expensive sebab ada perkataan the dengan ada of all ni. Now last one, second last. There is little dengan less tea in the cup than in the pot. Okay, here. Yang ni tricky sikit. Okay, so selalunya kita nampak then sebelah dengan comparison tu. Dekat sini, then ni kat belakang. Tapi still sama case juga sebab kita tengah compare teh yang dekat dalam cup dengan teh yang dekat dalam pot ni apa teko. Okay, so here because it's comparing to teh and then dia tak cakap similar ataupun dia tak cakap same ataupun dia tak cakap pun as, so it's actually it will be not the same. Okay, it's unequal. So here and then sebabkan perkataan then, so the answer is less. Okay, little is the positive, less is the comparative version of it. And then kalau superlative, least, L-E-A-S-T. So little, less, least. So ini yang superlative dia, ni comparative dia, ni dia punya positive dia. Okay, tak tahu kau nampak tidak, kalau tak nampak boleh zoom. Alright, and last but not least, her marks worse than her friends. Dekat sini korang kena hati-hati, sebutan dia sama, worse. Okay, sebutan dia, pronunciation is the same, worse dengan worse. But because of just the simply of the either E ataupun huruf T tu, makna dia berbeza. Makna dia berbeza dari segi comparative dia lah, degree of comparison. Kalau untuk comparative, ni adalah worse. And then kalau untuk superlative, jawapan dia adalah worse. So here, her marks worse or worse than her friends. So sebabkan perkataan then, so kita nak dia punya comparative. So comparative adalah yang dengan E. Okay, so that's about it for today that I would like to share with you. Cukup timing? Okay, ngam-ngam. Okay, so that's all for now. Apa yang korang dah belajar dengan Miss adalah macam mana nak compare adjective bila korang compare dua benda yang sama, dua benda yang tak sama. And then kalau ada banyak gila benda and then you nak point out something tu yang paling terunggul ataupun paling interesting ataupun paling kecil. Okay, so you use superlative. So positive, comparative and superlative. So yang ni kalau different dia punya degree of comparison, lain sikit dia punya ejaan dia ataupun cara korang nak tulis. Ada formula-formula dia. Nak tahu kalau ni baru join ke apa, rewind balik lah video ni untuk tahu daripada mula. Okay, so that's all for me. Hopefully you learn something from me today. Sorry tak sempat nak cover tentang words of the week kan selalunya Miss akan buat tu kan. So next week Miss akan buat 2 perkataan lah, and then I try to do it very fast so that kita tak ambil banyak sangat masa on that one. I owe you that. Alright, I'll see you guys next week then. Bye bye.